Imagine waking up on a Monday in January and looking in the mirror. You see the same person who promised to change last New Year's, and the year before, and the year before that. It feels like being trapped in a hamster wheel, running all the time but never getting anywhere. You know that feeling, don't you? That quiet frustration of working 60 hours a week, coming home exhausted, scrolling through Instagram until 1 a.m., and waking up the next day feeling like you've been hit by a truck. It's the modern American cycle: work hard, crash harder. But what if I told you that 3 simple changes, not dramatic revolutions, just 3 small tweaks, could completely break that pattern in just 30 days? I'm not talking about waking up at 5 a.m. to do CrossFit or meditate for 2 hours. I'm not talking about quitting your job to become a digital nomad. I'm talking about strategies so practical that they work even if you have small children, 2 jobs, or live in a city where traffic robs you of 2 hours a day. Exactly 30 days ago, I was exactly where you may be right now, running on autopilot, always reacting instead of acting, always one step behind my own life. Today I wake up energized, sleep soundly, and for the first time in years I feel like I am truly in control of my time and energy. The next few minutes could be the turning point you've been waiting for, because sometimes the biggest transformations start with the smallest decisions. Here's what no one tells you about changing habits. The problem was never your willpower. The problem is that you're trying to fight a system that was literally designed to keep you exactly where you are. Think of it this way. Your current routine is like a river that has carved a deep canyon over the years. Every morning you wake, checking your phone. Every night you stay up late scrolling. Every week that flies by without you even remembering what happened. All of these have carved that canyon deeper. And then you try to change it using sheer willpower, which is like trying to push the river in the opposite direction with your bare hands. Stanford's Dr. B.J. Fogg spent decades studying human behavior and discovered something revolutionary: lasting. Change doesn't happen through intense motivation. It happens through what he calls tiny habits, micro changes that are so small that your brain doesn't even realize you're changing. The neuroscience behind this is fascinating. Your brain has a system called the basal ganglia, which acts like your body's cruise control. It automates behaviors to save mental energy. The problem is that this system doesn't distinguish between good and bad habits. It just wants efficiency. But there's a loophole in the system. Researchers at MIT have discovered that you can hack this autopilot through something called habit stacking. Instead of trying to create new neural pathways from scratch, you take habits that already exist and stack new behaviors onto them. It's like using the currents that already exist in the river, but directing them where you really want to go. Instead of fighting the nature of your brain, you work with it. This explains why all those previous attempts to turn your life upside down failed. You were trying to rewrite all of your code at once, when in fact you just needed a few small, strategic tweaks. Let me paint a picture that probably sounds familiar. It's 6 a.m., your alarm goes off, and the first thing you do before you even get out of bed is grab your phone. Work emails, Slack notifications, that family WhatsApp group that never stops pinging. In 5 minutes, your brain has already processed more information than our ancestors processed in an entire week. You jump out of bed in firefighter mode, putting out fires you didn't even know existed. Rushed coffee, stressful traffic, arriving at the office already feeling like you've run a marathon. And the day hasn't even started yet. Fast forward to 9 p.m. You finally sit down on the couch dead tired and open Netflix. But instead of watching anything, you spend 20 minutes scrolling trying to decide what to watch. Then you pick up your phone just to check something quick. And before you know it, it's midnight. You have to wake up in 5 hours, and you're watching TikToks of people making recipes that you'll never make. This is the reality for millions of Americans. It's not that you're lazy or lack discipline. It's that you're trying to navigate a world that has changed radically in the last 15 years, using an instruction manual that was written for a time that no longer exists. Your great-grandfather woke up when the sun came up and went to sleep when it got dark. There were no 300 TV channels, no push notifications, and no pressure to answer emails by 10 at night. His brain had time to process, reset, and prepare for the next day. You, on the other hand, are living like a 24/7 emergency room doctor, even though your job is accounting. Your nervous system can't tell the difference between a project deadline and a saber-toothed tiger. To it, everything is a threat and it reacts accordingly. The result? You live in chronic fight-or-flight mode, always running but never arriving. Always busy but rarely productive. Always connected but often alone. So, how do we break this pattern? Here are the 3 habits that completely changed my game in 30 days. Morning Power Hour. Instead of waking up and immediately going into chaos, you create a sacred hour before the world wakes up. 60 minutes divided into 3 blocks. Of 20. First block, movement. It could be a walk around the neighborhood, yoga on YouTube, or simply dancing in your room to your favorite music. The goal isn't to become a fitness influencer. It's to wake up your body before you wake up your mind. Second block, positive input. A podcast that inspires you, a few pages from a book you enjoy, or 5 minutes writing down 3 things you're grateful for. Third block, mental preparation. Visualize how you want the day to go. What are your 3 priorities? How do you want to feel at 6 o'clock in the evening? Think of it like the warm-up NBA players do before a game. They don't just come in and shoot 3-pointers. They prepare their bodies and minds first. Digital sunset rule. 2 hours before your ideal bedtime, turn off all screens. Computer, phone, TV, everything. Sounds radical? Sure. But here's the secret. You replace them with things that nourish rather than drain energy. Talk to your partner without distractions. Read a real book. Take a relaxing bath. Lay out your clothes for the next day. Weekly CEO meeting. Every Sunday for 30 minutes you sit down and have a meeting with yourself. Review the past week. What worked, what didn't work, what you learned. Planning for the next week, top 3 priorities, possible obstacles, resources needed. You are the CEO of your own life. Treat it as such. If you want more strategies like these, subscribe to the channel. Every week I share practical insights on how to optimize your life without becoming a slave to productivity. Here's the truth no one tells you. You don't have to turn your life upside down to completely transform it. The biggest changes happen through the smallest adjustments, applied consistently. Think of a Boeing 747 flying from New York to Los Angeles. If the pilot adjusts the course just 1 degree, the difference in the final destination will be tens of miles. 1 degree. That's the difference between getting where you planned or ending up completely lost. These 3 habits are your little course adjustments. Morning Power Hour puts you in the cockpit of your morning. Digital sunset rule gives you back control of your attention. Weekly CEO meeting transforms you from passenger to pilot of your own life. 30 days. That's all you need to prove to yourself that real change is possible. Not to impress anyone on Instagram. Not to become some impossible version of perfection. But to finally feel like the protagonist of your own story instead of just another supporting character. You have 2 options. Stay on the hamster wheel, hoping something will magically change, or grab these tools and get started today. The autopilot. That got you here won't get you where you want to go. The question is not whether you can, the question is, when will you start?